round, but Locatelli very much back on it this weekend, and it's also a signal of Yamaha are concerned. We've already introduced you to Scott Redding. Michael van der Mark will be lining up from P11 Championship weekend, and Eugene Laverty is promoted from 20th to 19th. Just a 19-rider field with 3 injury withdrawals over the course of this week. Opportunity to wrap up the 2022 World Championship. A podium here, regardless. A year ago, it's 51,629, so good to see. It's the big one, the championship decider in Alvaro Bautista's hands for the first time. He's got away well from 4th position on the grid. Razgatlioglu, and Bautista is wide. Locatelli is through. Bautista rejoins into the path of Axel Bassano, toe-to-toe with Jonathan Rea in towards turn number 10. How many times have we seen these two try? Makes his progress from further down the order. They're scrapping there for 7th place. Alex Lowe's and
3-4. He was a little bit offline. Bassani had to take avoiding action. That's what allowed Scott Redding to come through into 5th position. But already a big gap developing between Bautista and Redding.
Jonathan Rea escaping Bautista to do the job in terms of the championship. With Toprak to finish 2nd this afternoon, for example. Running has got the pace to live with your traditional podium trio, the men who 18 times this season have locked out those podium places. And aside from the attention in the context of the championship on Alvaro Bautista, 7/10 of a second away from Jonathan Rea at the head of the field. But this is far from a disastrous situation for Bautista.
0.2, so that's a good pace right from the outset from him. For Alvaro Bautista, he's not in a bad position right now for championship positions as it stands, but we also know that Jonathan Rea in yesterday's race in the corners, and that's what opened up a bit of a gap to Bassani, but allowed Lowe's and Vieira to come through.
Jonathan Rea versus Toprak Razgatlioglu, again under braking in towards turn 10. That does seem on the racetrack itself. That is the narrow racing line that the riders must stay on, because anytime we've seen someone slip away from the black stuff, that is when they have dropped majors. Way past Andrea Locatelli. He did so with aplomb, of course, in race 1, then went after Jonathan Rea and found his way past him as well. But in the Superpole race this morning, stunning pace from Axel Bassani last lap around. Hopefully for him, he won't use too much tyre getting back on terms after losing ground in the early stages. Locatelli moving to the lead on the man directly ahead of him, Andrea Locatelli, because Axel Bassani is closing right in. He's made up half a second on this lap alone, and Bautista does come through. Razgatlioglu and Bautista, 19 times they've shared the podium places and locked them out between them this season. They are the 3 heavyweights in World SBK. Bautista needs to confirm the title before we go to Phillip Island. So Bautista in the podium places, which will be enough for him to take this world title. Razgatlioglu, meanwhile,
towards turn 10, but you can see the pace at the front is slow, because right now it is Bassani and Scott Redding down in 8th fastest and the next fastest rider out on the track. So that shows you that the pace at the front,
not Toprak Razgatlioglu. Alvaro Bautista now has Axel Bassani on his tail. Bassani a couple of tenths of a second behind. Might be Ducati 3rd and 4th, but the Moto Corsiv and Locatelli won't have enjoyed that.
Yeah, whatever about Bassani having been a little bit disappointed not to be on the factory seat for next season, he's going to have to make a clean move if he tries to get through on Bautista.
Bautista's dropped well back actually.
At the front now. We've seen that Rea's bottled up that lead group. Now it's up to Toprak to try and be the cork in the bottle and open that gap.
And up to Bautista to clear Jonathan Rea quickly if he wants to get the gap to Axel Bassani for 4th position, so recovering after getting bundled out of the way as we come into lap 7 now, and it is Razgatlioglu, your race leader, 1.5 Tesha opening lap for Michael Ruben Rinaldi. Not the first time this weekend he's been caught out on the opening lap. Bit of an error there from Jonathan Rea, and Alvaro Bautista's going to capitalise on it. Rea was up all over them.
So for Jonathan Rea, he's going to be under a lot of pressure for the next couple of laps.
We know how hard Jonathan Rea will be pushing to try and stay with that lead duo while he's got them in sight.
And all weekend we've seen Locatelli have a good performance as well, so Rea's going to be under a lot of pressure now.
Jonathan Rea watched on by Perariba, making notes, no doubt thinking why, and claim a podium here this afternoon.
Yeah, it was always going to happen there for Rea that Bassani was going to get himself close enough to try something. Now it's up to Rea to try and fight back, but I doubt he's got the...
A messy race 2 of the Argentinian round where he threw away 8 points after missing a long lap penalty. So Bassani needs to get his head down now and try...
Really good job in that final sector, and he pulled back 1/4 of a second on the overall lap, and he's put himself into a position now to attack Toprak, and it looks like it's into that final sector that flip-flops.
still behind them, still less than 2 seconds covering your lead quintet as we head through lap number 9. So good pace being shown by these lead 5 riders. Vierge, Gerloff and Lowe's separated by 0.6 of a second in the battle for 6th place, and Scott Redding in 9th, who is now only 1.5 seconds behind Lowe's.
Very comfortable 4th in the World Championship standing, so he can afford to have a difficult weekend, and for Rinaldi it's just about trying to make sure you can pick off as many spots as you can in the second half of this race.
That comes though as I'm ahead, so Ray dropping over 0.3 of a second behind now. Axel Bassani in the last of those podium places.
Yeah, Bassani fastest rider on the track last time around, 0.3 of a second faster than
second only slower than his fastest lap of the race was Axel Bassani last time around on lap 9, so still maintaining that speed as he tries to position. Vierge versus Gerloff. Gerloff has accelerated away from Alex Lowe since passing him and is now closing down the lone remaining Honda after Iker Lecuona's.
After those couple of mistakes, another half second faster than those last time around, so it's going to be pretty inevitable for Redding to make the move. The one problem for him is he's made mistakes into turn 16 on a couple of occasions.
Secondary group. Strong ride this from Jonathan Ray. He had dropped over a half second behind Axel Bassani. He's going to take a run at him here as they come through turn 12. That will catch Bassani by. We see Kota Nazane, unfortunately, down in the gravel trap. He was running outside of the points in 17th position, and we're going to see it here.
Yeah, turn 11, that's the right-left.
Time around, 15th place in race 1, his only points of the weekend. Lap 12 of 21, a quick opportunity to take stock. Razgatlioglu versus Bautista at the head of the...
By Ray to make that into the 11-12 complex, and now he's been able to stretch his legs a bit and open up a half a second gap to Bassani, so Axel doesn't look like he's got the bike.
Razgatlioglu's rhythm up at the head of the field. 723 metre start finish straight for Alvaro Bautista. He pulls alongside Razgatlioglu nice and early, but now they're under braking, and that's where Toprak's at. The great job that Jonathan Ray has done to somehow find something when it looks as though his race was deteriorating and get back on the leader's pace. He was actually faster than both Razgatlioglu and Bautista last. Razgatlioglu at this stage. It is bringing Jonathan Ray back into the action. There's less than a second now covering your lead trio, but Jonathan Ray's wide. Ray is wide through 15 and 16, who again is alongside, this time under braking. Can Bautista get it stopped in time? It looks as though he can, and the champion-elect is also your race 2 leader here at the Mandalika. Debris at the side of the circuit, I think, for Kyle Smith, who has crashed out further back down the order, so they'll have been going through a yellow flag zone there, but now Toprak
well, but Alvaro's bike works really well from this point onwards, and that's where he's going to try and make his move back on Toprak.
Bautista was close a lap ago through 15 and 16, then made the pass into last opportunity here in towards turn number 1. The Ducati is able to accelerate away down that start finish straight, so Toprak's not going to be close enough under braking, and now the second, and Razgatlioglu, who's been making passes on Jonathan Ray in towards turn number 10, might fancy it this time around if available to him against Alvaro Bautista. Toprak Razgatlioglu, and you can see he now fits in the same picture as the big 2 in the World Championship, who are duking it out for top spot in race 2 here this afternoon.
Yeah, Ray doing a really good job to dig in.
As far as world title hunts have been concerned in the 8 most recent seasons, Bautista onto the start finish straight. This is the best part of the circuit for him. He knows he's not going to be out now in towards turn 10. The pair of them are going to be careful here because they could open the door for Jonathan Ray to come through and hit the front.
Yeah, Bautista needs to be careful through the next 4 corners. This is where Ray...
Second, third, it doesn't really matter as long as they get this World Championship over the line.
I think Alvaro's made it perfectly clear he wants to win this championship by winning the race, or at least having a full battle all the way through.
The top 3 different manufacturers with their individual best men really going head to head.
Got to be tidy. He's not tidy on the run through there. That's going to cost him a lot of time on the exit of 10.
Well, estimated at 60 centimetres by Alvaro Bautista that you've got to stay on at all times. That
moment in yesterday's race, collected it nice and easily, and then was able to get back to open up a big gap. I'll tell you what, if Pirelli want to have a marketing campaign about their tyres, all they have to do is show 68 degrees.
Because the kind of pace that Razgatlioglu is able to put in at this stage, he obviously feels confident in. He tries the cut back and does get alongside Locatelli, but doesn't quite have the 12 and 13. Locatelli will have the impetus as we come into 15 and 16, but doesn't look
able to do a good job to get his way back up into 6th after those couple of mistakes early doors in this.
Bautista's just going to be settling it in to bring it home and take a place on the podium.
Going on all the way down the field.
As ever, the midfield battle just as exciting as what we're positions. Eugene Laverty and Tati Mercado, 17 riders still running after the retirements of Kota Nazane.
He doesn't want to leave this into the final couple of laps and have to think about defending the position he wants to.
But otherwise, it has been an outstanding season as far as Bautista is concerned. If he got
For a long time since Carlos Checo won the championship, these next lap and a half are going to be really...
that position, still Axel Bassani in fourth place has managed to make a few tenths of a seconds ahead of Vierge. Gerloff has pulled second clear of Alex Lowe's. Michael Rubin still to try and retain the world at number 4 status that he managed last year.
Can wrap up a second world championship for him, of course, former 125 Grand Prix world champion as well.
You can almost
Just really likes to have a scrap with everyone around him. It's all about winning races for him, the difference between finishing.
and Rinaldi, so it does look as though our top 10 positions are settled. And bar the shadow driving in this paddock, he won his first 11 races before he threw it all away. Redemption for 2019, 3 years on. World SBK is seeing red again.